Turkey, and looks like both junglers are starting on the opposite side. So looking at TNZ will be the first one to be reaching that Little Wanderer.
Yep. See, I mean, this should be a very straightforward opener. The inverse jungling. We gotta see where the Little Wanderer spawns. That is gonna give us a good idea of where these players are gonna head towards. So on the bottom end of the map, and Myanmar will call dips on it so they prevent any sort of an invade. With good coverage from Boye, and Kun also making sure that Luna doesn't get to leave the lane too early. They get the interaction at the Litho, and it will be Turkey that gets it.
Yeah, looks like they were able to dodge the Unbreakable coming in from Apex 47. Nico just taking a bit of damage coming in from Rosa, but we can see here that, whoa, oh, look at that, able to catch Rosa, still holding onto the flicker and able to get out of there. But look at this, TNZ jumps in, shadow onto Nico, but not enough damage just yet. And this is why I say I would prefer the Eve as well as the Badang, because the kill threat is really there.
Yeah, both mid laners forced to use their flicker just to get out of that predicament. Thankfully, TNZ didn't stick his shadow onto Nico, because I feel like that was the first blood angle. Still, Boye on this Badang is incredibly dangerous, because you get to cancel the Unbreakable so easily, right? You have two abilities that can do that. Apex 47 doesn't revitalize, so that will be first blood for King Flash.
Actually, now that I think back, I was casting their tournament, and this is one of Boye's signature here with the Badang. And honestly, Nico's just good on everything. But still, Myanmar opening up, really controlling that mid. It looks like Rosa really can't take a break.
TNZ did receive some of that heat too. You can see the idea of what Myanmar wants to do. They're gonna try and hit 4 onto Nico first. And he does get it, so the RWM is available for Nico. Turtle now under control by Myanmar. Turkey attempt to steal, but it will be King Flash securing it with Retribution. Kun is going to get jumped on by the bravest fighter, Raging Slash. He goes down. Apex 47 dashes away. Luna now next on the chopping block. 4 members of Myanmar on him, but Luna will escape.
Yep. So far, good engages coming in. Myanmar as well. Turkey with Sigiboom is able to catch 2, but looks like the follow-up is not there just yet. TNZ jumps in. It looks like they don't have the damage. Ogi Shadow Kill executed, but not enough still. Good engage coming in from Sigiboom, but the follow is just not there yet.
Yeah, Nico is doing a fantastic job. He hasn't had to use RWM the entire time from the turtle fight to that sequence in the mid lane, and he was peeling his teammates away. Those Void Blasts actually hurt even in the early levels. And that's why Turkey was hesitant about committing too much. And they also juggled the Ogi Shadow Kill very well, making sure that no casualties on their end. So Myanmar going even against Turkey. The only minor goalie that Turkey has is on that early kill from Lunar onto Kun. So that's the goal lane, I believe. The XP lane, excuse me, skewed a little bit.
So right now, 3 minutes in terms of the goal difference and kill difference, it's really non-existent. Boye goes after Apex 47, taking quite a bit of damage, and even using the Revitalize and Fed Airstrike just to make sure that Apex 47 doesn't get taken down. Quite a lot of resources Myanmar was able to bait out of Turkey, and now Lunar, bravest fighter, looks like he's gonna try to fight back, and it's right, but King flashes there, gets the kill.
Yeah, Kun has Vengeance too, so damage reduction just enough to keep him alive. Myanmar really limit testing Turkey right now. It comes down to who flinches first. They were trying to bait the AOG from Apex early on. They only got to Revitalize, but it's good enough because Apex will have to play a bit more scared without the extra healing. Myanmar now looks for a conversion, and I gotta say, King Flash has been on the ball with his movement. Always proactive, getting ganks off. Both kills on Myanmar are on him.
Now we're looking at a positioning here. It looks like Team Turkey, as long as Rosa is able to be free, they can actually have a pretty good standing here going up against Myanmar in a turtle fight. Clearing the mid first. Juno is on the scene. Boye gets stopped by Sigiboom.
Boye is starting to become quite a nuisance for Turkey to deal with. He's stopping clear-cut engages, and he's always a threat. If Turkey commits and Boye finds an angle, they can easily turn the fight around. Apex 47, he's not going to have the liberty to get all these taunts off. And now Boye jumps in with the RWM. The Revitalize comes off. King Flash gets jumped on by Lunar. Good return from Turkey. Luna ends up going down. Luna ends up getting a double kill, in fact. The current call, Kun just tie him and Sigiboom up. Myanmar looks to fight back, but they have ran out of damage source. Without the Eve, it's pretty hard to answer the Turkey.
I gotta say the MVP, that one was Lunar. TNZ gets the turtle and goes in able to get a Juno as well. Lunar making it so that it was basically mute. It was a good engage coming in from Boye, but no one can follow out because Lunar is on the scene, man. He's stopping them.
Myanmar has to be slightly more careful with how they take these fights, because as good as the engage that they can get, Lunar, he has been a thorn in their side. Nico could RWM, but if you have a Lapu Lapu swinging away on top of you, there really isn't much that you can do in the earlier levels. So that's the equalizer there. Turkey killing up King Flash and Nico, two of the main cores of Myanmar that really would benefit from having early goalies.
Look at Boye. Boye has been found out. Sigibum not going to chase him just yet, but looks like Lunar just want to engage onto Boye. Gets chain CC'd and gets bursted down. Apex 47 secures the kill. And I think that's honestly worth it. You got to make sure that Boye is less effective in the game because he's going to be quite annoying in those neutrals.
Wow, Luna didn't even go for boots, just rushes War Axe straight.
I'm probably going to go for the...
Oracle next.
Yeah.
Wow, he's actually going to go bootless. I guess it's fine if you get to jump on your opponents like that.
Speaking of which, jumping towards Boye. Boye pushes him. Nico should be able to deal with that, but Lunar is all alone. AOG jumps in, helps him out. Barely survives. Nico, a little bit of damage and could have got that.
Yeah, just a little bit. If Nico was there slightly earlier, they will lose Boye again. Tianzi with the collection. Boye goes down the second time. 17 seconds before the turtle spawns, but it is Flying Cloud, so Boye can easily rejoin the fight if needed.
At almost 7 minutes here, the front lines of Turkey as well as Myanmar got to be careful with their positioning because Lunar was caught all alone, Boye was caught all alone. So again, this shows that it's a very fast-paced team for both teams because at 6 minutes, they're already setting up ganks. Juno is in the middle of everyone. Rosa has to flicker away, but look at it, a current call. Catches Sigibum. Kun all the way to the back, gets onto Rosa. Rosa survives, but Kun eventually secures it. Speaking of which, Tianzi gets the turtle. At this point, Lunar is all alone, unable to dash out. Tries to fight against 4 members of Myanmar, but King Flash gets the kill.
Another good exchange, even though Turkey got the objective. It's not the best. They get the pull into AOG landing. The taunt follow-up. Crowd control was good, but Nico manages to get away. The shield also keeps him alive. Current call response from Kun to push the rest of Turkey away. Sigibum just got to see Halbert too. And I like that Myanmar switches target mid-fight. They saw that Rosa and Sigibum are there. They instantly turned onto Rosa, instead understanding that this Farsa is a bigger problem. And not to mention King Flash getting killed onto Lunar too. Without that flicker, another pullback. This one, with the help of the feather airstrike, Juno should go down.
Yeah, Juno has been frontlining quite a lot for Myanmar here, but I gotta say, Kun is playing an amazing CC game because we can see the shred coming in, but more important, like you said, the targeting. Once he sees a vulnerable target, he will get onto that. And I gotta say, the current call has been hitting the correct targets.
Yeah, without any purifies on Turkey's side, there's no way to get rid of the curtain call if you get tethered onto your teammate. The big advantage that they have is that they've gotten most of the major objectives, 2 turtles out of 3. The side, all the tier 1s have gone down.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get as much gold for King Flasher that S-Strike used just to zone them away. Turkey having 1 cannon minion, it looks like will not be able to siege much further.
That's one way to push the Yeef away, to threaten her. And for Myanmar, they don't really have the most bulky front line, right? If there's anyone, it's going to be Boye and Juno. But we saw how Turkey shut them down very quickly. High burst damage, hit reduction from items, which Sigibum has. See how Rosa has the glowing wand. So these shields and regenerations will be cut down by a huge margin. Lord spawns bottom side.
And for some reason, even though Turkey has the goal, oh, look at Boye, jumps all the way to the back. Rosa has to flicker out, but look at Apex 47, tries to zone away King Flash. Lunar jumps in, forces Team Myanmar. Alba Kun is dealing a lot of damage onto Lunar. Team Myanmar was the aggressors, and they're forcing Turkey out.
That's good for Myanmar, but it is Flying Cloud, so Rosa will be back in no time. That's the only thing that Myanmar needs to keep in track of. AOG comes in to stall the Lord take. Tianzi, shadow kill, out of range. They bring him away so that King Flash can get the Lord.
Talk about initiation with no hesitation. Forcing out a lot of abilities coming in from Turkey. Nico just built the Wishing Lantern, King Flash, having that endless battle. The damage will be more punishing here. And Rosa is able to survive, but the objective wasn't necessary to get a kill. Just make sure there's no better airstrikes in the Lord fight.
It was so decisive, right? They force Rosa away. They see that Lapu has no bravest fighter. They instantly turn to the Lord. And not just that, they also accounted for the fact that Tianzi might use the Shadow Kill to try and jump to the Lord, so they drag him away to guarantee a 100% success rate. But again, Flying Clouds allows Turkey to regroup and reposition very, very quickly as they already start working on the Lord. Boye will be there. Rosa found out already, so has to fly away. TNZ turns on the Nico. They're going to try and juggle the Shadow Kill again. Nico survives, but the Lord gets taken out.
Yep, amazing flicker to cancel out the Ogi Shadow Kill. The minion is still there. King Flash finds vision. It looks like even though they didn't get the tier 2, but quite a lot of damage there, and Kun is onto Lunar. Lunar is able to protect his turret, but barely. One more wave crashing in, and they'll be getting that. So Myanmar is weird, like under gold and under in terms of kill, but they definitely have the control of the map.
Yeah, thankfully no tier 2s go down, so Turkey gets to defend majority of their map still. Kun is starting to become a threat too. And I mean, Rosa has been receiving the brunt of all these attempted kills onto him. Every time they see Rosa, they go straight for the Farsa.
I mean, we gotta understand why. He has 100% kill participation here. 8 total kills for Turkey, and every single one, Rosa is there. Clearly a big factor of Turkey winning this fight, so it's good on Myanmar understanding the threat. TNZ checking the bush here, and I don't envy Rosa, man. This is going to be a pretty difficult fight to navigate around. You got to be careful of the CC, of the Badang, the Esmeralda. Heck, honestly, even the Eve.
Yeah.
If you're caught by the RWM, that's it. You're gone.
And the Badang has been near impeccable this game. 2 devs, caught up 2 times in a row earlier on, but still, these engages, we talked about that it's not easy to get a flicker, fist crack, fist break in. You have to be really pixel perfect, and Boye hasn't missed a beat. And we see it out. This glowing one Wishing Lantern for Nico is starting to hurt. And that means the front lines of Turkey, it's easier to cut through. Not to mention if you get the residual damage onto cores like TNZ and Rosa, it's even harder for Turkey to fight these long extended fights.
And now look at this, Apex 47.
Wow.
Opens out the map. And that was just a few pokes.
Yeah.
And he's already using the regen.
He got burned out by the glowing one too. This is gonna be hard. If TNZ wants to contest this, he has to make haste. But Myanmar, they're not in a rush. And like the patience, Boye is holding back most of the Turkey lineup. Kun gets to dance around a little bit, curtain call. Now pops up and just very early, but they're gonna trade for a better airstrike, Shadow Kill, and a bravest fighter, and that's worth it. But they will not turn around onto Lunar. Lunar goes down. So both the XP laner fall.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know which one is really worth it, but Sigibum trying to get away from Juno. Juno is all alone, getting attacked by TNZ as well. Sigibum taking quite a lot of damage. If Nico wasn't there, Juno would have 100% died.
Thankfully, TNZ doesn't have the Shadow Kill too. Now it's up to Boye, the Lord knockout. Also both Boye and Sigibum flicker out for a trade of the AOG. None of them want to back down for the Lord, and Boye has no flicker, so no snap engage from the Myanmar side. Something that Turkey can feel a lot more comfortable about, but it's all about zoning out TNZ. He hops into the RWM, gets knocked back, and another Lord's looking for King Flash at the trade of his life. Rosa will find a collection, and Boye knows that his sacrifice is necessary, but at least Myanmar walks away with the Lord.
Yep. And all the while, Myanmar and Turkey, this is becoming a much drawn-out fight compared to the first series of the Team Turkey. They want to push here, but the wave clear coming in from Nico is going to make that really, really difficult. And we're starting to get to the point of the game where this Eve is, like you say, going to be the real threat. Having the glowing wand, having the Wishing Lantern, and whatever penetration item he will build up after this is going to be more and more difficult for Turkey to end the game without a Lord. Like, even with the Lord, it's going to be difficult. Without one, dude, it's so hard.
They find Kun, the Vengeance is not going to help. It's the Sky Piercer from TNZ. He is 4-0, so Rosa unfortunately will have to flicker early and cancel out the Feather airstrike. Apex peeling Juno away. The bolt connects on King Flash. That's a lot of commitment. He has no tracers. He goes down, but Juno finds Rosa. RWM out, but it has to be cancelled very early as Turkey moves out of range. Luna now turns on to Juno. He's in a 1v4. No way out for that. TNZ is unstoppable.
That was a big mistake coming in from Myanmar. Game-changing even. They got the Lord, but the fight was not coordinated. Juno was so far forward. King Flash tried to get the kill, which is a good call if he was able to do it. But once the Turtle Bolt hits onto 2, I think he thought he had the damage.
Yep.
Instant follow-up coming in. Apex 47 locking him in place. That was the biggest blunder that Team Myanmar did all game.
Yep, that's the second Lord take that Myanmar has, and it hasn't really converted into much. Turkey at 3.2k goal lead, not to mention that TNZ has Sky Piercer, so it's even more imperative for Myanmar to really think about how these fights are going to pan out. 30 stacks for TNZ, so these shadow kills are suddenly deadlier than they usually are.
But that also means for Team Myanmar, their win condition really is to take down TNZ, right? If he's able to get one more kill, 40 stacks on Hayabusa is honestly enough to get a wipeout. Like, you gotta be careful. Your lineup isn't super tanky, especially if Juno on this Esmeralda is not able to stack the shield. Even if they group up as 5, at least one person is gonna get taken down with 30 stacks of that Sky Piercer.
Yeah. To stack the shields, you have to be able to use their abilities, and we just say that there are plenty of crowd control from Turkey, and it's very easy to shake them off because of how low the cooldowns are.
And we gotta talk about the itemization here because Kun as well as King Flash having the Winter Crown, it's good and bad. It's good that they can protect themselves. It's bad, however, if they use it while the team is clumped up, you're gonna give over one person the full damage there. It looks like TNZ as well as Rosa is already forcing out a lot from Juno. Look at the Lord here. Myanmar, what is there? Apex 47 jumps in.
That's a very early AOG. Can they get Kun though? The Vengeance, doesn't matter if there's a Sky Piercer. Still worth it for Turkey. 4v5 is getting a bit dicey. Luna hops in with the bravest fighter. Can he get the control off? This time Rosa on the ball. Gets the objective for Turkey. Chases Nico away. Feather airstrike. Nico is going to try and fight back. Rosa flickers away. The RWM out of range. And TNZ here as the cleanup crew. Nico is not getting away out of this. Godlike for TNZ. 3 dead for Myanmar as Juno goes on the run. And Boye will have to hold the fort.
They have more stacks for the Sky Piercer. And now Juno. Oh! I never seen that interaction before, but Team Turkey, they are looking to try to end this one, but the minions are not there. They got to be careful. There's a chance Juno could turn things around. Boye jumps in. AOG trying to stop the engage. And looks like Lunar gets onto Boye. Juno all alone. TNZ gets a legendary. Even as an Esmeralda, you cannot tank the Hayabusa anymore.
King Flash's back is him and Kun. They need to take care of this one wave, and then they'll buy enough time for Nico to come back, and that's their essential wave clear. So it's not the end yet for Myanmar, but Turkey have assumed total control. Again, the crowd control that they bring with this draft, very hard to deal with, and Nico's RWM is now more valuable than ever. That one RWM could decide whether Turkey takes this game 1 or whether they go on a bit longer, but they have to deal with the Lord first. And Turkey is not going to wait. They're going to go straight in, find the kills, and with the help of the Lord, work on the Crystal. TNZ in the back, Nico is gone. Turkey takes game 1.